I can't get enough of this music. I can't get enough of this music. I cannot get enough of Live FYC with the amazing Perri Nemiroff and the mighty Jeff Snyder. I cannot get enough of award season. We cannot get enough of award season. We live for this shit. This is what it's all about. Tracking the ups and downs, and award season is just rolling along. We're just moving along. And just this morning, maybe like not even 2 hours ago, we had the SAG Award nominations. This is a very, very big indicator for the Oscars. And you're talking about people who actually make movies versus people who just watch them. Perri Nemiroff, what did you think of this morning's SAG nominations?
So first of all, I'm going to say that I'm very happy for all the nominees, a bunch of deserving people that I'm very excited to celebrate. Did you watch the announcement?
No, I didn't see the announcement. I just read them online.
Okay. I feel like there needs to be a nicer way to announce the nominees, maybe with a higher production quality. For all I know, maybe I missed an opportunity to watch it elsewhere, but I did watch them. I watched Issa Rae and Kumail Nanjiani do it live on Instagram, and it felt a little weird that one of the most prestigious award shows of the season was revealing their nominations on Instagram Live, where Issa was having a tough time initially, getting Kumail into the live stream. I'm like, can you just sit them down in a proper studio together and have them announce things a little more formally? Like where they say someone's name and an image, a fancy image appears. I know the image appeared in their grid after, but I wanted it to be done up a little more, I guess.
Like they do with the Oscars, where it's a big deal. And you're absolutely right.
You're getting nominated by your peers. It's so special.
I agree with you. I mean, this is actors nominating actors that should absolutely be taken more seriously, especially because this year, the 30th SAG Awards is going to be streaming for the first time on Netflix, which is kind of a game changer on February 24th. That is definitely a game changer. Jeff, did you watch the nominations live, or did you do what I did and just wait to read them on the trade sites?
I'm a normal person. I'm a normal person. So I just read them online when they came out. Yeah.
Well, still.
Can I just add one quick thing, Mance, because I don't want to disrespect Kumail or Issa. I thought they did handle it really well. I don't think they could have done a better job with what they were given. I just wish maybe it was done up a little differently, maybe on a different platform.
No, look, I agree with you completely. The SAG Awards should this is actors nominating actors next to the Oscars and the Producers Guild and the Directors Guild. This should be the gold standard,
This should be a national holiday. Why are we working today? We should have the day off. It's SAG nomination day.
Oh, we should definitely have the day off. All right. Meanwhile, let's get right to it with the nominees for Outstanding Cast Ensemble, which is the SAG Award equivalent of Best Picture. The nominees are American Fiction, Barbie, The Color Purple, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Oppenheimer. And Oppenheimer, or I should say Barbenheimer, it's like a deja vu all over again, going back to July. Barbie and Oppenheimer led the way with 4 nominations apiece on the film side. So first of all, Jeff, what did you think of these 5 nominations for Outstanding Cast Ensemble?
I think it's a pretty good list. I mean, I'm a little surprised Poor Things actually maybe didn't show up here. But I'm so glad to see American Fiction. I really think American Fiction had the best ensemble of the year across the board, pound per pound. I think Barbie and Oppenheimer were always kind of givens, right?
Yep.
And likely Killers of the Flower Moon too. Although I've got an issue with this nomination. Are you seeing the people on this list?
Yes, I do.
Not enough Native Americans.
Oh.
Where's Cara Jade Myers? Where's the mother?
Yeah.
Look at it's a very white list of actors on the Killers of the Flower Moon ensemble. It's crazy. And then The Color Purple was the big surprise of the morning. And I think that they needed something like that to keep this campaign going, to keep its chances going. And, I don't know if it's going to get that Best Picture nomination, but this certainly helps.
Okay, so a couple observations here about Outstanding Cast Ensemble. First of all, again, Barbenheimer, just keeps going. It's amazing that this keeps going here. So in addition to Poor Things not getting nominated for Outstanding Cast Ensemble, neither did The Holdovers, neither did Maestro, and movies like May, December, and Past Lives were shut out completely. So there's a lot of interesting omissions. Let me just finish this thought here. Now, it's interesting, like Killers of the Flower Moon, I mean, Oppenheimer. I think that, yeah, on one hand, you can argue that they are ensembles, but you could argue that they're not. And Poor Things, I remember a few years ago, back in 2017, when the SAG Award nominations were announced, La La Land did not get nominated for Outstanding Ensemble, but of course it, got nominated for Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, or maybe Gosling. I don't remember if he was nominated. But I think, Maestro just didn't get the love, and neither did the
what's the ensemble, Scott? There's two.
Yeah,
two
I don't like if you ask anybody like who's in Maestro, odds are they're only going to be able to name Bradley Cooper and Carey Mulligan. I think maybe a few people would say like, oh yeah, I like Sarah Silverman, like Maya Hawke was pretty good, but I don't think that's considered an ensemble quite like these other titles that we're talking about.
I think Barbie and Color Purple and American Fiction are definitely ensembles, but Flower Moon and Oppenheimer, I think that there's like maybe 3 or 4 actors that I hold above, like that they should be talked about. They're the ones like driving the films. But yeah, okay, I get it. Holdovers is really 3 actors. Poor Things.
Yeah, same with May, December.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Fair enough. Perry, what else do you have to say about cast ensemble?
Not much more to add. I had predicted Poor Things. I was a little surprised to see it not in this category, but then when I saw how another category panned out, I guess maybe I'm a little less surprised and kind of reprocessing how I'm thinking this is going to be received by, the Academy and throughout award season. I was extremely happy to see how American Fiction did today. Yeah. It was one of the ones that was on my toss-up list to get in this category, and I'm very happy to see it there. And you two know, I've been not just rooting for after having seen it and loved it, but I've had faith in The Color Purple since the very beginning, and I haven't wavered on that, and it panned out here. And, I've always had it on my best picture prediction list, but it's always been towards the bottom. Now I'm having more confidence in some of it's not going to rise above certain titles, but now my confidence in my best prediction list is starting to go lower down the list now. And The Color Purple, I've got a lot of faith is going to go all the way to that best picture prediction now.
I absolutely agree. As soon as I saw The Color Purple, like at the very first screening they had at the Academy, I'm like, oh my God, this is totally getting nominated for best acting ensemble. So yeah, and no nominations for May, December, no nominations for Past Lives. I'm kind of disappointed about Past Lives, but what would you take off of this list? There's only 5 nominations. That's the problem.
Can I really ask, where is Benny Safdie?
Yeah, where's
Benny?
What's
funny is
he's not on the Oppenheimer ensemble list.
Oh, is he not? What?
No.
Send us a link to the full lists. Is it on the SAG website? I keep looking up articles and nobody has names listed on the articles.
Variety has all the names.
Yeah, look at Deadline.
Variety has all the names. All right. So last year's winner for Outstanding Cast Ensemble was Everything Everywhere All at Once. So Perry, Jeff, if you had to predict the winner here, what would you pick? I'm going with Oppenheimer.
Sorry, I was looking at Variety's article. I don't see names. And I'm curious. Which category did you just ask about?
For Outstanding Cast Ensemble, last year's winner was Everything Everywhere All at Once. Do you think it'll be Oppenheimer or will it be The Color Purple? Because that's an ensemble.
I think I don't fully agree with the case that Oppenheimer is not an ensemble. I also think Oppenheimer's ensemble reflects the fact that there is no small role in a movie. And I think that the voting body of SAG in particular is an organization that will really respect and appreciate that. So I think that Oppenheimer is still going to come out on top here. I got a lot of faith in that movie.
I did too. By the way, I'm not saying that Oppenheimer isn't an ensemble. I just don't think it feels as much as an ensemble as like a movie like The Color Purple or Barbie or American Fiction. But yeah, I mean, I definitely am leaning more towards that it is an acting ensemble. Tell you, the movie that I really think is a true acting ensemble, in addition to The Color Purple, is a movie that I've been like, sort of beating the drum for all this time. And that is Air. Air is absolutely an ensemble, but again, it was a real underdog all this time, all this point, and I'm not surprised that it did not get nominated. Of course, I certainly wanted it to. All right. Outstanding male actor.
What, guys? I'm on the show. I am on the show today.
Okay.
I am here. I am present.
Don't hold the mic too close to your face, Jeff.
Yes. All right, Jeff. Talk away, but keep that mic away.
My pick for ensemble is American Fiction.
All right.
I like that pick.
That's a good pick. I would say that Oppenheimer and Color Purple and American Fiction are the movies that I would.
The Color Purple has no chance at winning this award.
All right.
0%.
You never know. Oppenheimer, but look, Oppenheimer is definitely the movie that I love the most out of these. So, anything else you want to say before I move on to outstanding lead actor, Jeff?
No, thank you.
Okay. Moving on to outstanding male lead actor, where last year's winner was Brendan Fraser for The Whale. The nominees this year are Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Colman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, who won the Golden Globe just a few days ago, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, who also won the Golden Globe a few days ago, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. Very, very big omission here, and that is no nomination for Leonardo DiCaprio for Killers of the Flower Moon. Perri, take it away.
So I want to respect his work in Killers of the Flower Moon. I've said it repeatedly. I think the movie is exceptional. I think he's very good in it. I like a moment to pat myself on the back. I went 5 for 5. I predicted this could happen this season. And I'm also predicting that these 5 stay intact through to Oscar nominations announcements. I am extremely happy to see Coleman on this list. I think he very much deserves to be on this list. And I don't want to go too much into the Globes because, again, I don't think they have all that much value in terms of influencing our Oscar predictions and the race in general. Especially because I think that after the Globes, a lot of the headlines were literally about anything but the winners and their speeches because the speeches were so short. The one person that I think heavily benefited from winning there and delivering an exceptionally warm, personal, funny, lovely speech was Paul Giamatti.
Oh, he is the best.
So we got to watch, as we said last time, but now even more so now, Paul Giamatti is on the rise.
So first of all, we've seen in the past where an acceptance speech at one award show can increase the visibility for a later award show. That definitely happened with Brendan Fraser last year for The Whale when he won. I think it was at the Critics' Choice. Anyway, but also at the same time, Perri, I do agree with you about the weight of the Globes, but I think that because you have like a couple hundred additions to that voting body that are actually made up of actual journalists, I think that there is actually a little bit more credibility to the Globes than there was in years past. A little.
Did you hear how many people mistook who voted during the actual night? Ask, forget about people in the industry or outside of the industry. It doesn't matter. Both pools. Ask people who votes for the Globes. I have a feeling very, very few will give you an accurate answer. Well,
that's a voting body that, despite the number of people, the actors who turned out at the Golden Globes, they increased their ranks. I mean, I don't know exactly who most of these people are, but I know that they definitely have. Like I said, I'm not saying that they're the Oscars. I'm not saying they're the SAG Awards. I'm not saying they're the DGA, the WGA, or the PGA. But I'm saying that there is a little bit more to the Globes than there was in years past. A little. All right. Also, I want to say a snub for Andrew Scott for All of Us Strangers. I think that movie has sort of been a little too under the radar at this point. Maybe calling it a snub isn't very accurate. And we all predicted that Leo could possibly get snubbed. We all predicted these 5 nominees for Outstanding Male Lead Actor. These are all names that we've all talked about for months as being the front runners for lead. Jeff, what do you got to say about these 5?
I'm sorry to cut you off, Jeff. Would you mind if I just brought up a super chat? Because it just ties into what you just said, man. So it might be good timing. It's from Mike. Just a friendly reminder. It's not a snub unless the actor or film in question had a legitimate chance of well, not necessarily winning in this case, but getting nominated. I've seen that word thrown around a little too frequently this morning. And, you basically just said it, Mance. Andrew Scott was, in the running, but not necessarily a given nomination, and therefore him not being on the list, maybe the word snub is not the most appropriate term here.
Mike, agree 100%. When you think of the word snub, it applies to a potential nominee who was almost a sure thing to get nominated, but did not get nominated. And, you can't compare Andrew Scott not getting nominated to Leonardo DiCaprio not getting nominated. He was it was kind of going back and forth between someone like Leo and Coleman Domingo or Leo and Jeffrey Wright. Leo did not make it. Jeffrey Wright did. Coleman Domingo did. So excellent point. Agree 100%. Jeff, what are your thoughts about Outstanding Male Lead Actor for the SAGs?
I'll take the victory lap on the Leo snub. I do not think that he was going to get in this year. He still could, because I'm not 100% confident on Coleman Domingo's chances. I don't see that translating to an Oscar nomination. SAG, that's great, and congrats to him, and it is a fantastic performance, but SAG doesn't always line up with the Oscars, and if this ends up going 4 for 5, I think he'll be the odd man out. I do think Andrew Scott still very much has a chance for an Oscar, backed by the BAFTA European contingent of voters. And was thrilled for Paul Giamatti, obviously, that win for The Holdovers, and then the viral photo of him at In-N-Out. Like, this is a guy who's a character actor. He's paid his dues for decades. Obviously, I know Cillian Murphy's been around a very long time as well, but I think it's Paul Giamatti's year.
I saw someone tweet, they must not feed folks very well at some of these. I don't want to imply that happens everywhere, but there are a couple where I know, put a granola bar in my bag just in case.
Perri, there was at the Critics' Choice Awards one year. It might have been the year La La Land won. So, first of all, I'm not going to lie. The food at the Critics' Choice Awards tables are awful. And I was like, I remember driving home from the Critics' Choice Awards that year and going through a drive-through at In-N-Out Burger. Not In-N-Out, I'm sorry, Jack in the Box, because I was fucking starving. I'm like, you have all these actors and directors at these award shows. Feed them, it's like ridiculous.
They starved themselves all season. That's why they can't wait to get out and go have an In-N-Out Burger, because they've earned it.
Yeah. By the way, Jeff, I don't disagree with your prediction for Paul Giamatti to win the SAG Award, if not the Oscar, over Cillian Murphy here. I'm agreeing with you.
Everyone is just taking credit to Kyle Buchanan, Scott Feinberg, they're just coming out of the woodwork in the last few weeks. I've been saying this in September.
Well, you're the man, Jeff. Everybody knows that you're the man. Okay, moving on to Outstanding Female Actor Lead, where last year's winner was Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. This year's nominees are Annette Bening, yes, for Naiad. Oh, I'm so happy to see her nominated here. Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. She won the Golden Globe last week for actress drama. Carey Mulligan for Maestro, Margot Robbie for Barbie, and Emma Stone for Poor Things. She won the lead actress comedy Golden Globe. So yay, Annette Bening. As you both know, as everyone who watches FYC knows, I've been big champion for Naiad and especially for Annette since the September, October. And I was worried that she was falling by the wayside. She wasn't getting the love and attention, that the film was being overlooked, mostly because of the SAG strike, the actor strike. But, and here we are talking about the SAG Awards. I am so happy Annette Bening got nominated for this award. And I think that is a big boost to her chances to get nominated for an Academy Award. Perri, what's your take on these nominations and especially Annette Bening?
Yeah, I was mighty pleased to see myself go 5 for 5 on Gold Derby in this category. I thought long and hard about it, and it panned out. I've been saying all along, Emma Stone, Lily Gladstone, Carey Mulligan are our givens this season. I'd be shocked if they didn't go on to get nominations. And Margot Robbie, with each passing day, is proving more and more to be a force in this particular category where, at this point, I feel like she is going to get an Oscar nomination, and there's no doubting it. It's the Annette Bening slot that I'm most nervous about. And Mance, you're the stats man. You might know this a bit better than me. Is it somewhat appropriate to say that when it comes to SAG Awards being a predictor for the Oscar nominations, that it'll likely wind up being something like 4 out of 5 of the SAG nominees go on to get an Oscar nomination?
Yes.
So if I am to apply that thinking to this list, it would be the Annette Bening slot that would be the toss-up. And I do think Fantasia still has a real chance to get in this category, especially because The Color Purple popped up in Ensemble. That, to me, could signal widespread support for The Color Purple, where, we know that in Nyad's case, it's not making as much noise, and so much of the focus is, mainly, I think, on Jodie Foster and then Annette Bening. So I would not mind seeing Annette Bening go on to get the Oscar nomination, but she is the toss-up to me here.
Okay, that is a very, very accurate assessment, Perri. Sometimes there are situations where all 5 nominations in an acting category line up with the Oscars, and then there are other times where, it's usually 4, sometimes even 3. And I agree that with these nominations, Lily Gladstone, Carey Mulligan, Margot Robbie, Emma Stone, I think those are pretty much locks to carry over into the Oscar nominations for Best Actress. I think Annette Bening is, for the purpose of this conversation, sort of the wild card, because some of the, all respect to Mike Kay, who brought this up, snubs, certainly I would say Sandra Huller for Anatomy of a Fall can be seen as a snub because she's been getting so much attention for lead actress in other award shows and as a predictor for the Oscars. Another snub, maybe Greta Lee for Past Lives. Like you mentioned, Perri, Fantasia for Color Purple. Maybe I don't think Natalie Portman for May December because I feel like she was a long shot. Anyway, Jeff Snyder, what do you think, buddy boy?
It's fun to stay at the NYAD. It's fun to stay at the NYAD. Guys, she made it.
She made it.
She made it. I guess that's what happens when you give a great performance, get nominated for awards. Who knew?
Who knew?
I'm going to surprise you I'm going to tell you who's losing the steam in this race. I know we're all saying, Annette Bening, she's going to be the one who falls out. You know who's losing steam this season?
No, don't say it.
Who?
Carey Mulligan.
No, but she's not. It's the opposite. The opposite is happening. This ties more. Sorry, I got really fired up about this because I see it all over the place, and it's really upsetting to me. Maestro seems to be going through a bit of a backlash, and the argument people keep making is that Bradley Cooper tried too hard to make an Oscar movie. Give me a fucking break. Dude is really passionate about the story he covered, the craft that's involved, and he wanted to make a good movie, and he dedicated himself wholeheartedly to doing it. I don't understand for the life of me what he did beyond just making a good movie that did justice to the people and the material he was trying to bring to life on screen. I don't get it. But because that's happening, I do think a lot of people are walking away from Maestro and not necessarily saying like, oh my Bradley Cooper, but like, wow, Carey Mulligan stole that movie. So I don't think she's losing steam. If anything, I think the movie in general is getting rocked by this like really bizarre anti-Maestro movement that's happening right now.
I don't understand. I mean, I was shocked that, when I started reading the same stuff you did, Perri, about how there was almost like this quote unquote backlash to Maestro. I rewatched it, you know, when it dropped on Netflix over the holidays. I think the movie's amazing. I think Bradley and Carrie are just magnificent in the film. I, you know, I think after Paul Giamatti's just surge for the holdovers, I certainly think Bradley Cooper is losing a little bit of a steam with possibly winning, but it doesn't take away what I think of the film, what I think of those performances. And I was disappointed that it didn't get an ensemble, but I guess, you know, I understand why it didn't. But I definitely think that, you know, Carey Mulligan and Bradley Cooper are absolutely worthy of winning. Jeff, what's your take?
Carey Mulligan and Bradley Cooper are fantastic in Maestro. I don't think anyone is disputing that. I think it's a great performance, and I do think that she deserves to get nominated, and I think she will get nominated. I think that she has a better chance of being nominated than Annette Bening. But when you look at this list and you tell me to identify the person losing steam, that person is Carey Mulligan, and that is indisputable.
Interesting. Okay. Fair assessment.
Who else of these five, if you had to say one of them's losing steam, who else would it be?
Losing steam? Yeah, I guess you're right. Just by process of elimination, I would say that Carey Mulligan is
now, again,
compared to Margot and Emma and Lily. But I just think that Annette Bening is gaining steam, and she is
the vulnerable one, Annette Bening, and I do think that somebody may very well fall out for Sandra Hüller, but I'm just saying, Carey Mulligan's not a lock.
All right, let's move on then to Outstanding Male Supporting Actor. Last year's winner, Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. This year's nominees are Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction, Willem Dafoe for Poor Things, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer. He won the Golden Globe just a few days ago, and Ryan Gosling for Barbie. Let's give it up for Sterling K. Brown making this cut here. This is a name that we've been sort of, you know, really championing here on FYC, and he made the cut. So you're welcome, Sterling K.
I was seriously so happy. Obviously, we've established I was the only idiot who actually watched this live. Like, yelped. And he was the first name called too, which, you know, in the way my brain processes these lists, you know, you save the biggest surprise or the one you would get most excited about for the end. And when his name was the first one read, I was just like, done. I'm happy. I don't care what the rest of the list is.
Excellent. It was definitely a very, very happy surprise. Definitely one. I mean, surprise. I mean, he deserves it. But one person that lost out here, who's been getting awards attention, which was kind of surprising to me, was Charles Melton for May December. Again, that movie was completely shut out. And Willem Dafoe getting in for Poor Things over Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo, who had a lot more screen time, although Willem Dafoe certainly, you know, changing his appearance with the makeup. All right, Jeff, what's your take on Outstanding Male Supporting Actor?
I think this is a very cool lineup. I think it's actually kind of cool that Dafoe got in over Ruffalo. I was a little bit surprised, but I never loved that Ruffalo nomination myself. I think that we'll still see some changes. I don't think this is going to go 5 for 5 at the Oscars. I do still see I still see De Niro as a little vulnerable, and I don't think that, you know, Academy voters will have just given up on Charles Melton or anything like that. But you know what? I mean, this is a pretty good lineup. I still think that this is Robert Downey Jr.'s to lose. But
I agree. You know, it's funny. Even after Downey won the Golden Globe the other day, I'm still sort of reading that, you know, Ryan Gosling still has like a big chance to win, like at the SAG Awards or at the Oscars. But I feel like, you know, Downey, it's his year. You know, I mean,
you don't give an actor as good as Ryan Gosling an award that he's going to win at some point in his career for playing Ken in a Barbie movie. It just like does not come.
Well, I think that he's great in the role, and he should not be demoted because he played Ken. Because of that, he was great in the role, he was great in the movie. He kind of stole it in a lot of ways from Barbie herself. But anyway, Perry, what's your take?
A mediocre actor who gave this great performance, it'd be a different thing. But he's such a good actor, I just don't see them giving it to him for that performance.
I don't think Ryan Gosling is going to win the award, but I'm not rooting against him winning for those particular reasons. Like, I don't care if he wins an award for playing Ken in a Barbie movie as long as it's deserving. But I definitely don't think he stole that movie from Margot Robbie. Her performance in that film is definitely my favorite of the bunch. I think it's filled with so many important nuances, and she's got the strongest character arc by far. And I think Margot Robbie just knows how to make the most of every single ounce of it. Whereas, to me, I think Ken, has a strong through line in the film as well, but I just don't see it being nearly as strong as that. So I don't think he outshines her, but I'm excited for the enthusiasm behind the movie and the fact that Ryan Gosling and Robert Downey Jr. are feeling like sure things to me in this category. I have a little more faith in Robert De Niro going all the way. I think just you mentioned that, Jeff. I have more faith in his nomination being close to a lock. Choosing Willem Dafoe over Mark Ruffalo did surprise me a little bit. I have a hard time imagining that panning out the same way at the Oscars, but I think Willem Dafoe getting in for SAG is starting to make me maybe a little more open-minded about this category having two Poor Things nominees. I mean, again, it happened with The Favorite, so maybe it could happen here too. The Charles Melton thing does worry me a little bit. I was starting to get on the train with people who were maybe even predicting that he could be like a sneak attack win where he just rise all season, and then he winds up being the surprise winner in the category. The fact that it was completely shut out of the Screen Actors Guild Award nominations, that's something that you can't ignore. I don't necessarily think that means, oh, well, now he's out of the category at the Oscars. I still am predicting he gets the nomination, but that's severely like cracks the foundation that I thought he was standing on.
All right. Any more comments before we move on to female supporting actor?
I think Poor Things could be snubbed in supporting actor. I think
entirely.
Yeah, I think it's possible Ruffalo and Dafoe get snubbed and Melton slides in.
Oh, I think it's the opposite.
I don't know. I think even though Ruffalo didn't get the SAG nomination, I still think he has a very strong chance to get the Oscar nomination for supporting actor.
But yet he's not even the main headline as far as the supporting actor snub today. I mean, more people are talking about Melton than they are Ruffalo missing out.
Agreed. But I gotta be honest. I've been from the beginning when I first saw May December back in like September at New York Film Festival, I thought that Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore's performances were outstanding. And I thought that Charles Melton I thought he was fine. I was actually surprised that he started getting awards attention and just kind of went, oh, okay, well, I guess everyone's on board with that, but maybe not. All right, moving on to outstanding female supporting actor. Last year's winner, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once. This year's nominations are Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, Penelope Cruz. Big surprise nomination for Ferrari, Jodie Foster, Nyad. Very, very happy that both those actors got nominated. And Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. Divine Joy Randolph won the Golden Globe a few days ago. Jeff, what is your take on supporting actress, especially, Penelope Cruz? Like this is the first time she's cruising in. See what I did there for a nomination in a major award show.
I actually don't see what you did there. What did you do? Great to see Penelope Cruz here. I think she's very deserving. This is a walk. This is a walk all season. It's the closest thing to a lock we have at the Oscars, short of Nolan winning Best Director, and that is Miss Divine Joy Randolph winning Best Supporting Actress. But I'm fine with Emily Blunt getting in as Kitty. I'm glad to see Danielle Brooks here, and obviously delighted that Miss Foster got in because the Foster-sance is upon us.
Well, when I'm doing FYC, I like to drink Coca-Cola because Coca-Cola is the official soft drink of FYC. And so when we get that sponsorship money, Perri, we could all retire. thanks to our sponsorship
Okay.
with Coca-Cola.
We'll take that. Hook us up, man. Let's make this happen.
Let's make that happen. Anyway, Perri, your thoughts on supporting actors?
I think what I've thought for weeks now, Divine Joy Randolph, Danielle Brooks, Emily Blunt are looking like sure thing nominees. And this particular nomination makes me even more confident in sticking with Jodie Foster for many weeks / months at this point. I think she is going to get that nomination as well. I do think in this particular category, we are going to go 4 for 5, and Penelope Cruz's run with award season will, I don't want to say end here because there's maybe other organizations that I'm not thinking about, but I don't think her nomination at SAG is going to pan out to become an Oscar nomination as well. And I still think that there is a considerable amount of competition for that last slot. Competition that I think has now grown more fierce because none of the predicted names got this slot. Penelope Cruz did. So now we're just adding another name to the mix. I'm still leaning America Ferrera. I think she's got the most, maybe the most resources, the biggest campaign, the biggest film behind her. And I feel like anyone could take it at this point, and I'm leaning in her direction right now.
Yeah, I'm leaning. I don't see Penelope Cruz like landing the Oscar nom. Look, the exposure with the nomination here could change that. But if I had to guess that, when it comes to the Oscar nominations for this category, that Penelope Cruz might not make it, and someone like America Ferrera, Julianne Moore, or someone I've been championing a lot, but maybe now it's a bit of a longer shot, Rosamund Pike. But I think Perri, America Ferrera would be the one I would go with. Jeff, what do you think here?
As far as winning?
As far as, yeah, sure.
I think Randolph, like in a walk, no question.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. It's been over.
We had some breaking news just now. That's all.
All right, let's see. What do we got for super chats, Perri?
We've got many. We've got Jordan here with a couple. Color Purple is most deserving. And another Color Purple super chat from Jordan. The Brooks train might take off here. It's going to take a lot for that train to take off with enough speed to speed past Divine Joy Randolph. But I do think Danielle Brooks is a firm second on that list.
Yeah, fair enough. What else we got?
We've got the Trickster. Hi, Perri. Love watching your Perri's picks. That makes me very happy. I hope you enjoy the Mean Girls version of Close Up that's in theaters right now. If you see it, take a picture, put it on social media, and tag me. I love seeing them. We have Dave Networld. Hey, gang, good to see you. No SAG nomination or BAFTA long list for Charles Melton. Is he done for the Oscar nomination?
No, he's not done, Dave. I just think that, he maybe went down a couple notches here, but with not getting a SAG nomination, actors voting for actors. But I don't think he's done. I wouldn't say that he's done. What do you guys think?
I don't think he's done. No, there's still plenty of dust to settle here.
We've got Paul here. I imagine this was a super sticker, Paul. We'll check it out on YouTube after we're done broadcasting. But thank you so much for your support. Then, look who's here. It's David with the biggies.
Well,
hey
David.
guys, I was so surprised by the Color Purple love, despite it was rightfully snubbed at every Guild Awards. I think Jeff and I agree that the remake is a messy, sloppy movie, but the biggest snub that should have been here is the ensemble of Air.
Okay, David, I love your love of Air, but to qualify the omission of Air not getting an ensemble nomination is not a snub. I think that was it would have been a long shot to get in. I would have been thrilled if it got in. I'm not surprised it didn't get in, but I do disagree with your assessment of The Color Purple. I think it's a great film and I love it.
Yep, +1 for that. Jeff, any thoughts?
David, you're right. Like, I just didn't love this movie. I'm sorry. I know audiences have been eating it up, but I couldn't stand it, and I do think that Air should have been in this slot.
Yeah, Travis Earl in the comments section says they thinks that the Air came out too early. I think that's probably what happened here.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I wish it was positioned as a stronger award season contender.
How do we say that, though, when it came out just the same time as Everything Everywhere?
Well, Everything Everywhere is a wild, bonkers, crazy, ambitious, fun movie that had just a lot more going for it.
it was also stronger. Like Everything Everywhere, like, came out the gate real hot and immediately picked up like a significant amount of support, box office, everything. It feels like Air came out and was like a blip on the radar. It was released and nobody was talking about it. The only way you can go from an early year release and actually power through to award season is if people really get behind you. And on release, at least, Air didn't have that.
Well, also the problem with Air was that it played in theaters for a little before it started streaming on Amazon Prime. And a lot of times when a movie starts streaming, it kind of disappears. People stop talking about it. Whereas a movie like Everything Everywhere just did really, really well at the box office. And by the time all that was over, you were into award season, and that talk just kept going.
Yeah, just not the best trajectory for Air, sadly, but I thought it was deserving of this too. I love that movie. Paul is here. Been watching FYC since 2018, and it's made me love award season even more. Yes, that is a top priority here. Interested in knowing each of your favorite film performances of 2023. I'll go first because mine's obvious. It's Emma Stone. I think like that's not just one of the best performances of the year. That's one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life. I feel like the role of Bella Baxter does not work unless you're able to hit every layer of that wildly unique coming of age journey. And she just like eats that role up and makes the most of every single ounce of it.
Jeff, what's your favorite performance of 2023?
It's tough. I'm not prepared for this question, but I'm going to throw someone out there who I think he's just been underrated all season, despite winning Best Actor at the Venice Film Festival, and that is Peter Sarsgaard for Memory. I think that's a really tricky performance, and I thought he was beautiful.
My two favorite performances are actually supporting performances. One is Rosamund Pike for Saltburn. I just felt like here's an actor who's at the top of her game in recent years, and she just like topped herself with this supporting role in Saltburn. And the other is an actor, Jeff, I know you started championing early on, Glenn Howerton for Blackberry. That's a movie that I love, and that's a performance that I love. That's off the top of my head. Those are the two performances that rock my world.
All right. Next up, we've got Jordan. Giamatti could be Holdover's win at the Oscars. I think if he wins, it will be at the very least one of two wins, if not more.
I think he could be a big winner because he never got nominated for Sideways, and that was a snub back in 2004 that he did not get nominated for Sideways. And here he is working with Alexander Payne for the second time, and I think he's definitely getting nominated. And I think he could be the winner. I mean, I was kind of going with Bradley Cooper, but now we'll have to wait and see. But it's not Best Actor is not a lock, and I think that Paul Giamatti is definitely a big front runner. Jeff?
Holdovers could win. I mean, Holdovers is winning one Oscar, right? In my opinion, which is not a popular opinion, could win 4.
What are the 4?
Why is that not a popular opinion?
It's definitely, because no one thinks it's going to happen, but I do. I think it's a possibility. I think it could win Best Picture. I think it could win Best Screenplay, and I think it could win Best Actor.
And it's going to win supporting actors for sure. Right. Yeah.
I might not be predicting exactly that right now, but I do think that there is a world where you're right.
It could be this world, Perri. What else?
Listen, it's a tough task knocking off Oppenheimer this season, but if anybody could, I think it could be Holdovers.
I just hope that with Oppenheimer, the converse, because like this does happen. Again, these awards should be based on how good a movie or a performance is and based on nothing more, but human beings are voting for it. And this is what happens, where people get so bored of having a front runner that they kind of force a shift in the conversation, force themselves to spice it up. I feel like at this point, that's the only thing that could derail Oppenheimer, where people are just like, all right, enough already. Let's talk about something else. And then some sort of narrative spins out of control where something else may appear to emerge as a front runner.
All right. What else we got, Perri?
We have David back here. I was so happy
for a living. I think I'm in the wrong profession.
Yeah, really. I was so happy for Penelope Cruz, Annette Bening, and Jodie Foster because they're great in those roles, and it felt like they were forgotten. But Perri, you're wrong. I'm going to bet with you. And Jeff is Leo, and Jeff Leo is getting in for sure.
No, I don't think he's getting in for sure, David. Yep. I disagree with you there. He's not a lock.
I'm leaning against that as well. Are you ready for the next part of David's?
Let's go, David. Holy shit, David. Damn.
Yeah. This is like above and beyond the biggest super chat this channel has ever gotten. So thank you for your support, David.
Thank you very much, David.
Rock, buddy.
But I do want to say something before we read David's question. It's not a competition. And, you know, we do appreciate whether it's a $1.99, $5, $10, whatever it is in the super chat, guys. David is in the position he's in. I don't know what he does, but, you know, like, I just see a lot of comments, you know, whenever he donates and stuff. Like, we're all equal here, guys, you know. But we do appreciate it, David. Thank you very much.
David, you're very, very generous, and we appreciate your support in every single way. So, can I read his question?
Yeah,
hey,
go for it.
What do you guys think of the Globe show? I thought the show was so fun, and I'm so glad they brought back longtime announcer Sean Parr. I think I was going to say Sean Perri. I feel like he's very underrated because he's got an iconic voice that brings so much enthusiasm to the show. And the show last year felt boring without him. Well, the show this year felt boring as well, but that's because the host was just awful right out of the gate. I mean, what a disaster. And I thought that the show itself was boring because there were no real surprises with the winners, but it sure is great to see so many actors from TV and film all in one place. The Globes are fun for that reason, but I thought it was boring. Perri, what'd you think?
I don't know if I would say I thought it was boring. I thought it was a mess for a multitude of reasons. I obviously took issue with the opening monologue that got them started on the wrong foot. Then I couldn't even enjoy my favorite part of award shows, which is seeing the winners get up there and make impassioned speeches, because I thought they all felt quite rushed. The best part of it for me, I think, wound up being like the awkward memes that resulted from the show. And given the fact that my priority during award season is seeing people get honored for their hard work, I feel like that's not the best sign. So I did not like it.
The best part of the show was Paul Giamatti's acceptance speech for the holdovers. That was the genuine. And shout out to the teachers. I thought that was great. Thank you, David. You're the man.
Do you want to add anything, Jeff? And I'll put this down so we can actually see your face again.
No, I didn't watch the Golden Globes. I did see Joe Coy's monologue. I think everybody's being pretty hard on him, especially with, you know, only 10 days to prepare and everything. You know, Michael Chase said something interesting this morning where it's just like the people in that room, like, they just want to show up and collect a trophy and you know, get their photos taken. They don't want to necessarily be made fun of. And so it's a tough crowd to play to.
Tough crowd. I'm not a big supporter of someone voicing that they only had 10 days and throwing their writers under the bus.
I mean, you're 100% right. That's just not the play. That is not the thing to do. You know who weighed in on that I thought was interesting on Facebook was Robert Wool, who played Arliss on like the HBO show.
Yeah,
he was just like, you know, that you just don't do that in comedy. It doesn't matter if you had 10 days to prepare. You don't throw your writers under the bus. And that's what we were talking about with Jenna Ortega, you know, with Wednesday and why I think that could hurt.
Anyway. Wait, before we get to Morons movies. Okay, yeah. Well, let's do Morons Mitts movies.
Sure,
I forgot to do a category.
Oh, I know what you're going to bring up. Idea for a bet. Who gets the Oscar nod? Perri takes Mulligan and Jeff takes Benning. If both get in, bet is voided.
We're going to do a bet, but I feel like that's a great idea for a bet. I feel like the bet has to be more inspired and like come out of just like passion.
Yeah. I feel like the fact that I support Benning's nomination might make that a difficult one for me to get behind because I take both.
I mean,
I want both to get in too. Mulligan has better chance than Benning. I mean, gun to my head. I'm not going to make that bet, but
okay, you're giving us some ideas to work with here.
Like if one of us really felt like Leonardo DiCaprio was definitely getting nominated, and another one of us thought like, no way he's getting in. That's a bet. but I'm not saying that's the bet, but that's the sort of thing where like one person feels so strongly about one thing, another person feels so strongly about another. But we still got a few weeks before the Oscars to come up with a really, really, really good bet. So I'm sure we will, because it is not FYC without a bet. And we
David
also
LeMan, that Sander Hewler snub today doesn't bode well for the Zone of Interest, or I guess that was an Anatomy of a Fall, but Zone of Interest, 7 nominations, buddy. Good luck.
Mm.
All right, one final category: Outstanding Stunt Ensemble, where the nominees are Barbie, because there were so many stunts in Barbie, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Indiana Jones and the Last Dial of Destiny. Let's be done with the series once and for all. John Wick Chapter 4, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. In any other year, I would have been Mission Impossible all the way, but no. John Wick Chapter 4 wrote the book on stunts, I think, period. Boy, does that movie deserve to win this award. What do you guys think?
I still lean Mission Impossible. Why doesn't Gold Derby have this category?
I don't know.
I was doing predictions the other day, and I was like all ready to go on Gold Derby and have like, my clear list and like format it the same way that I do my other categories, and it wasn't there. And then I'm like scrambling to like look at like the entire release calendar from 2023. I don't understand.
Why doesn't the Oscars have this category?
I don't understand that either. And casting director and voice performance. I can go on.
Because they don't know who to give it to. That's why.
They got to bring this, bring the Oscar categories back from 23 to 24, and this should be the category they need to add is, best stunts. I mean, I love Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. I've seen it 4 times. I mean, the stunts are crazy, but when you watch John Wick Chapter 4, the choreography with those stunts is just off the hook. I mean, I think John Wick Chapter 4 is winning this one.
Who gets the Oscar, Scott? If there was a stunt Oscar, who gets it?
You do. Jeff Snyder gets the Oscar.
No, I'm saying that's why there's no stunt Oscar, because, do we give it to the actor? Do we give it to the stunt man? Do we give it to the stunt coordinator? Who are we giving it to? So
you give it to the stunt team.
Yeah, you give it to the stunt team.
The stunt team.
Well, it's
like 30 people.
That's a whole other conversation.
No, like it's the department heads, just like it would be for any other category. Whoever is the head of that department gets the award.
Right, but they're not even doing the stunts that we see on screen. So it's like, why do they get an Oscar for it?
They've maybe coordinated them. They've possibly done some of the stunts themselves. They have a keen eye on safety. I think there's a multitude of reasons why this award should exist, and those people should be the ones to get up and accept it. I don't think it's a very difficult thing to process.
I'm telling you why it doesn't exist.
Okay. Question. The question for everybody watching. The question for everybody watching FYC. A is, if you are watching FYC and you have not yet subscribed to Perri Nemiroff's YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe right now. The other question is, say we add stunts to the Academy Awards as a category. Who should win? Who should go up to the podium to collect the award? Should it be like it should be a limit of 3 people tops? Otherwise, it could go on forever. But comment below, let us know who you think should be the one to collect that award. And also share on your social media along with this link to FYC. Mance and Perri and Jeff have a great question. Who should collect their Oscar for best stunts if they add that to the categories? That is a question that we need to really, really get going and need to really push to be viral, because that is an award that needs to be added to the Oscars. So please do that. Jeff and Perri, any other closing thoughts?
For the record,
let's blow through the last few super chats.
For the record, my stunt choice would be Mission Impossible over John Wick. You don't just get an Oscar for dragging action scenes on for 15 minutes.
I agree.
I don't agree with that assessment, but I'm Mission.
You see, listen, I get it. I'm all about Mission. I just flew to New York the other day and I watched Mission on the plane for like the 4th time. But, watching John Wick Chapter 4, I'm just like, these stunts are freaking off the hook. Anyway. Okay, what else we got, Perri?
Lupe says, hello all. Is there a performance in 2023 horror film that you would like to see nominated for a SAG Award? I'll give an easy answer for me. I'll go Evil Dead Rise, and I'll say Alyssa Sutherland should get a supporting actress nomination because it's one of the best Deadite performances I've ever seen. She's so good in that role.
Great question. I defer to you, Perri, on everything horror. So what else we got?
All right, we've got Dave Networld back here. Now with the ensemble nomination, do you think The Color Purple can sneak into the Best Picture lineup after losing steam from the guilds?
I think The Color Purple is not going to have to sneak in because you're talking about a list of 10 nominees for Best Picture, not just 5. So, Dave, regardless of anything that happened prior to this, I do think that Color Purple is almost a lock for a Best Picture nomination. Perri, you agree?
Yes. I said it firmed up my prediction. I don't think it's wavering as much as I did before. I think this nomination signals it's going to get in and get a Best Picture nomination.
I think it misses.
Ooh.
And I'll tell you, as far as the best horror performance, I think maybe Sophie Wilde from Talk to Me. It's a performance that did not come out this year, and that is Daniel Zavato's performance as serial killer Rodney Alcala in Anna Kendrick's movie Woman of the Year. That was one of the greatest supporting performances I saw all year.
It was one of the best movies I saw at TIFF 2023.
Woman of the Year is a 2024 movie, so I'm sure we're going to be talking about that soon enough.
I hope so.
That could be the bet. Does The Color Purple get a Best Picture nomination?
No.
I say yes. Perri, Jeff, do you feel strong enough that it won't? That you'll be willing to?
I will make the. I don't know that I feel strong enough, but I'm willing to make the bet.
You're willing to make the bet. All right. I think we have our bet for the nominations. The nominations are just like I think a week and a half away. So,
all right, $20.
Does The Color Purple get in for Best Picture? I say yes. Jeff says no. We have a $20 bill on the spot. In fact, hang on a second. All right, here it is. This $20 bill. Here's the bet. The bet for FYC for the Oscar nominations. Does The Color Purple get nominated for Best Picture? Comment below. Comment on the chat right now. Share it on social media. $20 bills. I'm saying it gets nominated for Best Picture. Jeff is saying it doesn't. That is going to be a 20 spot I look forward to getting from Jeff Snyder.
All right. Seth is here. What's Jeff's beef with Ryan Gosling's brilliant comic performance when every actor says comedy is so much harder than drama? P.S. Where's the Bottoms love?
No beef at all. Ryan Gosling is the scene stealer. I'm the one saying that he was the best part of the movie. He does deserve a nomination, but yeah, I don't think that they're going to give him an Oscar for playing Ken in a Barbie movie. I think that's insane. And there's no Bottoms. Bottoms got love on my worst of the year list.
Oh, that's terrible. I wish Bottoms got more love during award season. Sid Express says Cooper, Giamatti, or Murphy. Saludos, CCA Francisco. Cooper, Giamatti, or Murphy. I'm sticking with Murphy right now with the idea that Giamatti is on the rise and could ultimately take it.
I'm going with Giamatti, actually. And now I am. I mean, that could change. We still got a little while to go with all the stuff. But right now, again, this is where a show like the Golden Globes can actually have an influence because of an acceptance speech like the one that Paul Giamatti gave. That was a highlight for many people watching the Golden Globes. With the Golden Globes being up 50% viewership from last year, I'm sure a lot of Academy voters watched that win and watched that speech and might be more game for him to go the distance for lead actor at the Oscars. Could happen. I'm certainly inspired by what happened that last week with the Globes and Giamatti. If you had to ask me right now who's winning best actor at the Oscars, I kind of would go for Paul Giamatti because I think that Oppenheimer is going to win picture and director. But if you ask me a week from now, I could go back to Cillian Murphy or Bradley Cooper. I don't know. We've got time.
Who are you picking, Jeff?
Oh, Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, had a feeling. Thomas wants to know, does Past Lives not being nominated spell doom for their Oscar chances?
Not nominated for what?
I guess
Anything-
SAG.
SAG Award.
I think it's going to get in for screenplay.
I think it'll
It's gonna
get,
be nominated for Best
and I think
Picture.
it'll get nominated for Best Picture. I think it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, but Best Picture. How could I forget that?
This was
Great
never
question.
an acting play. I never understood why anyone thought this was an acting play.
I think they could have mounted a stronger campaign for Greta Lee.
They definitely could have mounted a stronger campaign. She was good, but
Yeah.
she was not one of the best 5 of the year.
I'll disagree on that.
She wasn't the best in her own movie.
David N wants to know, BAFTA nominations may blur this race further. Sidebar, no SAG TV supporting slots. McFadden in lead, no strong. Oh yeah. As ever, you three are so darned entertaining. That's another
David,
goal
thank
we
you.
have.
Very nice comment. If we were going to do the SAG TV noms, we'd be here for another 3 hours.
It
We're
is
already
true.
in an hour in just about 8 seconds. So, yeah, I do agree that no Jeremy Strong. That was a shock.
Yeah,
And,
good points.
we are so entertaining. Spread the word so more people watch FYC.
All right, 3 more to go. Nicely Faithful says, your pick for best underrated performance, not mentioned this award season. My Alyssa Sutherland for Evil Dead. Look at that. Zac Efron for Iron Claw. Love ya.
Most
Who's got one?
We love you too.
Yes, Nicely Faithful. Thank you. Underrated, I guess Zac Efron is a good choice. I thought he was fantastic in Iron Claw. A movie that's not
He is the guy who would be in the 5 if that movie came out a little bit earlier and got a bigger push, like at the fall festivals. He would be the 5.
Who was that?
Zac
Zac-
Efron would be in
Zac
over
Efron.
Coleman Domingo.
Sure. Fair enough. Yes, Perri.
There is an alt universe where I think if Iron Claw's release date and strategy had shifted, that it would have been in this conversation a little more so than it has been.
All right, underrated performance. So I'm going to go with both performances of Alton Ehrenreich and Phoebe Dynevor in Fair Play. That movie is great. The performances are awesome. The movie dropped on Netflix and it just kind of disappeared. But Fair Play is an awesome movie, one of the best of the year. If you've not seen Fair Play on Netflix, you are missing out. So that is a must-stream movie, and you will see what I mean. John?
My pick quickly is the Leave the World Behind ensemble. I think that's one of the best cast films of the year, and they were really damn good together, and I wish they got more love than they did. Jonathan says DiCaprio. What's up?
Oh, I was going to say, I wish Eve Hewson got a little bit more love for returning Laura and Son this year.
Excellent pick, Jeff. I +1 that. Jonathan says DiCaprio had an interesting morning, not nominated for individual SAG, but a nomination as part of the Killers of the Flower Moon ensemble and officially in PTAs at next movie.
Oh, is he? I did not know
I
that.
wonder who reported that first.
Yeah.
I'm sure maybe you heard about that on the hot mic, Jonathan. I did not know that.
Oh, shit. There's more.
Okay.
Okay, we got more. Hey, Scott and Perri, you just eliminate Jeff now? What's going on? Because you're going to lose the bet? What actors and categories you're voting at the Critics' Choice Awards? Are you allowed to say? I would love for you both to vote for The Boy and the Heron, an animated feature. It's amazing. Boy and the Heron is great. I will say that my nominations, my picks are in.
I haven't done my picks yet, and I don't want to share what they are. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely voting for the Critics' Choice Awards. I'm excited about voting for that group. It's a fun thing.
Extremely excited about Sunday. Extremely. Obbs wants to know, with the Jeremy Strong snub, do you think that Pedro Pascal could win if the Succession guys split the votes?
No, I think it's really Succession's year. I think that Kieran is the one.
Yeah, I think if anything, it makes Kieran's case even stronger.
Yeah. With Jeremy Strong not in that category, I think that really propels Kieran Culkin to the top of that list.
Jeff, you want to take this one from Darren? What is Sess's chances? I thought he would sneak in here at SAG.
It's looking tough. Yeah. I think he deserves to be there, but I don't see him getting in this year.
Sadly, I must agree, but he is along for quite the ride this season, and hopefully this is a enough of a platform to launch him into many, many wonderful films and shows to come. David, closing out the show. Oh, Jeff, you got your own super chat. Jeff, oh, it's getting spicy again. Jeff, clearly you don't know the Oscars are international. Sandra Hüller is not getting snubbed because many of foreign voters, Sandra was expected to not get in SAG because foreign performances are often forgotten there. What say you to that?
Good point, David.
That's totally fair. I mean, I'm with you. I think she has a much better chance with the international voters of the Academy. Still a tough lineup to crack, and she was great in that movie, but the movie itself wasn't great.
I love the movie. No, I disagree. I think
I disagree on that.
Fucking amazing movie. Awesome. Love it. Can't get enough.
Oh, wait, there's one more. There's one more. Rob says, what stunts were in Barbie to warrant the nomination?
That was my question. That's why I made that comment when going through that.
I was like wondering if maybe it's like a visual effects type thing where there's some like hidden stunts that are so natural that I don't realize that they're happening. I don't know. I got nothing.
Bob. That was my question too. So there you go. So
with that, we're done. No more.
With that, we are done. Thank you as always for watching FYC. This was definitely a fun show to do. It's funny, we were only covering 6 categories. So I thought this was going to be one of our shortest shows, and it looks like it's one of our longest.
And one of our biggest. We've had a lot of people watching the entire time.
Well, that is amazing. And that just goes to show you that, yes, we are fun to watch. So make sure you spread the word about FYC on all your social media platforms. If you think that people are already watching, don't assume that. Maybe they just need a little bit of a boost so that people discover us for the first time, because we are now into our 5th year of doing FYC. So please spread the word. Make sure you check out, first of all, you can subscribe to Perri Nemiroff's YouTube channel. If you haven't already done so, just scroll down below and hit the subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe to Jeff Snyder's new newsletter, which is the insnyder.com. And make sure you also check out Jeff on The Hot Mic with John Stephen Roca, where they are dropping scoops and kicking butt and taking names left and right. And make sure you join us for the very next episode of FYC, which is a big one, because on the next episode of FYC, it comes down to this. We are predicting our final nominations predictions for the Academy Awards. That is an episode of FYC you do not want to miss. So until next time, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, FY. See you later.